everybody. Welcome to the Guts to Fail. It's February 25th, and I am interviewing Kerri Simpson, owner and practitioner of the Wellnut down here on Main Street in South County in the good old Rail District. Love it down here. Kerri is a friend of mine and fellow Frisco downtown merchant with me, and I've known you for maybe a couple of years now, and your business, out of all the businesses down here, they're all intriguing and amazing. And I always say that what we have over everyone else in Frisco is history and humans. We have humans behind our businesses that are very much the face of our businesses. We're all there all the time. And we have the history of where we live in this heart of Frisco. But your business, above all of the others, intrigues me the most because of what you do and what it does for people. So I'm really excited to dive in and see how you've had the guts to fail and any bumps along the road and all your triumphs and just your story and your background and how you got to where you're at today and why you do what you do. So I'm going to let you take it away and kind of tell us who you are and your background. I don't care if you start from when you were born to now, college, but I would love to know specifically how you got into the field that you're in. And I want you to explain it because I would not do it justice.
Got you. Well, thank you so much for having me, Brooklyn. I appreciate you so much and what you're doing. It's already your previous recordings and interviews have been so helpful for me as a business owner. So I look forward to sharing whatever I can. I'm a little unique, like you said, being a service-oriented business, and the service is unique. I am a QRA practitioner, and that just means I use kinesiology, a form of energy testing, to assist clients as a health coach and master herbalist heal naturally from chronic illness. And I do that with passion now because I started out as the patient. I was diagnosed in 2007 with chronic Lyme disease and told by Western medicine doctors that it was incurable and that I would be disabled for the rest of my life. And I was on Social Security disability. I was that sick. And tripped over a practitioner here in Frisco, Dr. Matt Chalmers. He's a chiropractor who did something called quantum reflex analysis, and he introduced me to my healing journey with naturopathic remedies. And within a couple of months of working with him, I realized it was working, and I had determined within 6 months of working with him that I was going to do whatever I had to do to become a practitioner and spend the rest of my life teaching other people what I had learned from him. I never dreamed I'd wind up with my practice here in Frisco, but never say never to God. I'm following his lead. I've wound up here, and I'm so grateful to be a part of the Rail District and doing what I do here for people all over the country. I do work with people remotely, so I have people in Canada and everywhere from California to New York State. So, but I do have a lot of locals too coming to me as well, and I love what I do. And basically what I do in my office within the center is help people heal naturally from chronic illness, learning what their root causes of their dis-ease are and helping them heal naturally. And it works very well. And I rely on nothing but client referrals, which is awesome. But we also are more than just my service. My goal when I opened this center was to have a business that could operate with or without me practicing in it. So we do have a lovely storefront here in the walking district of the Rail District that our motto is shop simple, shop safe. We offer clean, organic, toxin-free alternatives to makeup products, to home cleaning products, to supplements, which are not all clean and created equal. And so people know that they know when they come into our storefront that they're getting good quality, clean, toxic-free products or low toxic products, if not completely toxin-free. And that's the nutshell. We do have a chiropractor in-house, so I do have space here for sublease and other practices. My daughter is also a technician practitioner here, as she does our biofeedback sessions. My other daughter is our storefront manager. So we're a family-owned business. Both my daughters also had Lyme, by the way. So long story short, we've all been on that healing journey. and learned how to heal completely naturally from chronic illnesses that we are told by some that are incurable.
Wow. Okay. So I've got lots of questions. I have two, I guess, let me move this over here and do this. I have two trains of thought here. First of all, I have questions about what the kinesiology and quantum reflexology, and when you said just now, you said
Biofeedback. Yes.
I want to know specifically what those are and what they're for. But also I want to know your journey into owning your own business, going from 2007 when you had chronic Lyme disease and you're like, wait, I'm not going to accept this. No, the answer is no, I don't accept that. And you sought out Dr. Matt
Chalmers. Yes.
How something that I notice is, as a small business owner, I was a school teacher until 2013. I knew nothing about business. I didn't go to school for that. Everything I've learned has been what I've learned along the way from other people or just failing a lot. That's why this is called the guts to fail, because it's not necessarily that I had anybody else to lead the way, because what I was doing was just all made up. Everything I did, I was like, there's nobody else that's doing this. So I just failed a lot. And I guess that's what made me successful, is that I had the guts to just fail a lot because I wanted to learn. So I just try it. And so that's kind of where I what you said, based on the answers you just gave, is what you actually do and what you practice. And also having the guts to fail and say, hey, my intention is to spread this with other people like me. And then I'll figure out that businessy stuff later. I want to know a little bit about how you figured that businessy stuff out, maybe some of the bumps that you learned for other business owners that also have experienced something that helped them so much and they want to share that. Give them some pointers. Talk to that person right now.
First, to describe the modalities in our practice. A lot of people look at the types of practices that are here as woo-woo, guru-y, kind of weird philosophy kind of stuff. And I was one of those people. I was very hesitant to try QRA as a practitioner because I just always felt like Eastern philosophy medicines and all were too religiously oriented for me. And I didn't want to walk into an office that had a third eye on the wall or some weird Hindu philosophies hanging around, and it put me off. But what I found out at Dr. Chalmers' office, his office is nothing like that. He approaches kinesiology from a scientific standpoint and taught me that QRA, quantum reflex analysis, is rooted in quantum physics. Our human body is 99.999999999% energy. And that other fraction of a fraction percent is particle. So how can you heal the particle part of you if you don't listen to or look at the energetic?
Wow.
Right? So it makes sense that you have to have energy eyes. You have to look at that energetic aspect, the vibration of the body, in order to heal. So everything in our storefront is tested energetically. If it doesn't vibrate with a live source energy, I don't carry it. I don't want you putting in a supplement in your body that is dead energetically because of toxic load or whatever. So I'm looking for things that are live source to increase your live energy. So you take supplements or eat foods that are highly vibrational, it raises your vibration. If you eat things that are dead in source, then that low vibration that they carry or no vibration drags your energy down. Mm-hmm. And I can show you this with QRA. When clients come in and they're first introduced to QRA, I show them how just a single thought in their mind can change the energy in their body.
Wow.
So, and this is all rooted in quantum physics. The vibration of a thought of a thing is the same as the vibration of the thing itself, which is why you can send good thoughts to someone and it actually can impact them. You can pray for someone and it actually changes the outcome in their life or how they're feeling in the moment because we're connected on that energetic level. That's all proven in quantum physics now. It's not all just woo-woo belief. It's proven.
Do you
No worries.
But do you find that just like you going to Dr. Chalmers and even me, I gotta admit, one of my friends, she now lives in Brazil. She knows who she is, and everybody else knows who she is. She said that she went to the doctor for her daughter. I was like, what? Mm-hmm. He's like, she goes, yeah, he worked on my arm to fix her arm or whatever it was. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I just fell out on the floor laughing. I was like, Vanessa, come on now. What are you talking about? But what you're saying is it's crazy because it's not crazy. It's fascinating because it's like
it's new to you.
It is new. It's very new, and I want to know, do people come to you because they're like, I just need to try this. I want to see what this is. I want to know what you're doing, and so they come to you, and then they're like, wow. Okay, I came in here one way. I'm leaving a different mindset. Do you find
it happens every day? When I introduce someone to QRA, they are always blown away because you can't really understand it until you experience it, and you can't trust it until you experience it. Now, the clients that I have that are remote all over the country, I test them remotely. Using, again, the vibration of the thought of a thing. So I look at their photo, I focus on them, and I test them remotely. It took me 3 years to really hone that skill, but I feel very comfortable and confident in it now. And I have clients I've never met who have healed from Lyme and stealthy infections using my protocols. So I feel very confident that it works just as well remotely, if not better, because there's no talking, there's no interaction while I'm testing. I'm really focused. And their thoughts are not invading that testing at all. If you're standing there and I'm testing you and you start thinking about the fight you had with your husband this morning, your energy is going to tank and that could affect my testing, right? So I have to make sure that your thoughts are clear and you're not focusing on anything but the moment right now, staying with me in the now so that my testing is accurate. So you asked about QRA. That's the best I can describe it without being hands-on with you. It's actually using the fingertips. It's called the bidigital, 2 fingers, O-ring, and you put your ring finger and your thumb together, and the practitioner grabs a hold of that ring and pries. And your fingertips are very sensitive to the little nuances of change in the energy field. So if you say the word love, for instance, you'll have a really strong grip. If you say the word hate or murder, those cause your energy just to blow for a second, and you'll not be able to hold that grip. It's crazy, but true. And so I'm using the fingertips, putting different supplements in and out of the field, testing different organ systems, 50 different points on the body plus, to see what's out of balance, what's not vibrating at its peak, and what would it take to bring it to its peak. So if your stomach's off, for instance, and it's not resonating strong, and you can't hold a grip when I go to your stomach point, then I might put a probiotic in your field. And if you need more probiotic, that's going to raise your resonance just by putting it in your biofield. We all have a field of resonance that exhibits outside of our body. So I can just put that in your other hand and have it in your biofield, and it will raise your resonance as though you took the supplement. Which brings me to the modality that we have, which is biofeedback. Biofeedback is actual vibrational therapy. It's been around forever, but they certainly have honed it to a point where you can actually do it remotely as well. Our system has a bioresonance capability, so I can send vibrations to any human, dog, cat, or horse, or whatever animal you want to balance different issues in their body, whether it be physical, emotional, or spiritual, wherever they are. All I need is their vital information and a photo of them, and we can send bioresonance. And I have clients who've healed from chronic insomnia, depression. It's great for PTSD. Really is great for pain, whether it be chronic pain or injury-related pain. I was first introduced to it when I had a subluxed rib, and I didn't even tell the practitioner that I was in pain. And the first thing it scanned on me was a need for the pain resonance. Sent me the pain resonance. 20 minutes later, I was 50% better. By bedtime, the pain was gone. And usually when I sublux a rib, it takes days and days, if not weeks, to get that back in place and feel better. So that was my introduction. And I was like, I need this now. And I had it within 6 weeks, and we implemented it in our practice within the month, because it was providing something for my clients that was missing that I couldn't do. When they have emotional blocks on their healing journey, there's only so much I can do as a QRA practitioner, and the Healy bioresonance can take them to another level and help them through those PTSD, deeper emotional type issues that they have going on. So it's great to have that modality in house now too.
Yeah. So the quantum, the QRA,
Yeah.
I literally want to get up from my green chair, I want to open up my front door and come over there and let you do that. I want to, I'm squeezing my fingers, and I'm like, is anything changing? I need her to tell. So I need to come over there and do that. Okay. So the modalities that y'all practice over there are fascinating. I think we should all go and try them. I mean, what can it do but help us? And I love the 99.99999 energy, and then we just focus on the particle. That's fascinating. How then did you go from being a patient to a business owner?
Yeah.
What steps along the way and how that came about?
Well, again, when I realized I was healing using QRA, and I knew it was going to get me complete, I believed that it was my path to full recovery. And I believed what they were telling me, that I could actually kill all the Lyme, be completely healthy again, and be back to my normal self again. And I was always type A driven, always kind of entrepreneurial, but never brave enough to step out and do anything. But this gave me a passion that I had never had before, and I was determined. So I went out and sourced a health coach certification. I wanted something like nutritionist, but nutritionist, you're dealing with Western medicine classes a lot. You have to do a lot of other things too. Like, I was in my 50s. I was not going to go back to school, right? But I had to, because I had to get some sort of certification that would allow me to train in QRA. So I made the mistake of not checking with the place that trains in QRA before I went and dove into this health coach certification program that I did. I started it, and you got pre-certified at 6 months. It was a 1-year program, but just as I was reeling around to my pre-certification and starting to see clients on a, just kind of a free scale, just starting to work with clients and play as a health coach and see how I did, calling friends saying, let me help you lose some weight, that kind of stuff. And so I called Premier Research Labs in Austin, who does the training in QRA. And I said, I'm working on my health coach certification. I'm pre-certified. I want to find out if I can go ahead and train while I'm pre-certified, or do I need to wait till I get my certification? And that's when I found out they would only train nutritionists or better. And I said, oh, no. I'm not going to become a nutritionist, because that's Western medicine. The classes I'm taking are rooted in Ayurvedic, ancient Chinese, which is what you're rooted in.
Right.
You need to look at my curriculum and tell me why you're not approving my certification over that. So they said they would look at it. I called them weekly, drove them crazy for about 3.5 months. And they finally accepted me as their first health coach in training. They now allow acupuncturists, health coaches, and other certified practitioners to train in QRA. You're welcome, because I was not going to take no for an answer. And I did not want to have to go get schooling that I wasn't even going to use in my practice, right? So I have since, after getting that approved, the month of August 2013 was the month that I was told by Dr. Matt Chalmers, you are Lyme free.
Oh,
and that month was the month that I started QRA school.
Oh,
And my QRA school was 2 days a week on a weekend for 4 weekends straight. So it was a month of going up to Austin or down to Austin every weekend for a new training. So you would work on that for a week and go back and go back. So I began my training at the same time, and I got to actually shake the hand and thank the man who created the supplements that healed me, who created QRA, the training protocol. And I told him, I said, thank you so much for saving my life. I have to tell you, your protocol sucks because I had to take 87 hydrochloric acid a day for 23 days. Those are capsules, and that's like stomach acid, right? It's really harsh on the gut. But that was his protocol. His protocol was actually 90 a day. I hit 87. I would throw him up if I took any more than that. I was eating 5 meals a day for that 3 weeks, taking as many capsules as I could because you have to take HCl with food or it will burn. I felt bloated, nauseated every day, all day long for 23 days. There was no way in the world my 2 girls who both also had Lyme disease could do that. And we were still trying to struggle to find a way for them to heal when I met him. And I told him, they can't do it. He said, well, you got to get the gut healthy enough. Well, it took me 18 months to get my gut healthy enough to do it. And that's why it took me 2 years to heal from the Lyme. But I knew there had to be a better way. If a lot of HCl can kill a lot of Lyme fast, then a little HCl should kill a little bit of Lyme long-term, right? So I started playing with my daughters first and other clients who would allow it with different protocols. And I've found ways to annihilate Lyme without going there. But the funny thing was, Dr. Marshall, when I told him that, he just grinned, his cute little grin that he had. This guy's 75. He was full of life and vigor. And he just said, when you figure it out, let me know. Unfortunately, he has passed away since then, but I am on the docket to train trainers in my QRA protocols for Lyme specifically, because we've had so much success. No one in my practice has taken longer than 9 months to heal from the infections. And there were only a few of those. Most of them are less than 6 months. To heal from the infection. That doesn't mean you're feeling great. You've had a lot of damage done by the infections, and there's a lot of recovery to do after that. But the recovery can't happen until you kill what's ailing you, right? So getting rid of that infection is key, and it's rough because Lyme's a stealthy infection. So first thing I had to do was get in QRA school and learn that. I did that. And then I started practicing part-time out of my home. It was working great. I was happy to do it. I was still kind of healing and recovering myself, getting rid of all those lingering symptoms that hang on after you heal from the infection. So testing my body, trying to keep a balance in my own life, which I promised myself I would do when I launched into this, that I would always have to keep a balance so that I maintain my health while helping others. That is why I don't see a client until 10 a.m. because my mornings are my me time. I think it's really important for business owners to do that, to make sure they're investing in themselves. One of your recent interviews said you cannot grow a business without growing yourself. Mm-hmm. And I wrote that down really quick and thought that is so true. You have to constantly be in self-improvement mode if you're going to be putting yourself out there. And just, we as entrepreneurs, especially health and wellness entrepreneurs, we are givers. We want to just help everyone, and you can't fuel others if you're empty. So it's really important to do that. And so once I did that, one of my clients actually was opening up the Artistic Organics CBD shop over here in Frisco, right next door to me. And she had a sublease space available and asked me if I knew of anyone in November of 2018. And I said, well, what about me? And she said, oh, I didn't think you'd want to leave your house. I said, well, I didn't either, but maybe I need to think about that. And before the end of the month, I had moved in and was subleasing from her. And it wasn't, 4 months later that the space next to her came available when the pharmacy moved out. And I just felt very compelled to explore it. And it was way sooner than I wanted to be out on my own, but it seemed like too good of an opportunity because Kelly and I really collaborate well together, and I wanted to stay in close proximity to her store and her referrals. And I also work with the Frisco Birthing Center just behind me here, and they would be close. And it just made sense to have that collaboration right here. So by July 2019, I was owning a center, and it was not expected to come that fast. So I found myself in the deep end again long before I was really ready for it. But I wanted to have more than just an office in a medical complex. I wanted to have that storefront. I saw when I was officing behind Kelly's store that her store was a place of education for people to understand what we do. And I thought I could bring people off the street who are shopping at the boutiques who come in to see what we've got, and they see what we're about, and the girls can introduce them to our modalities here. Then that's a segue, right? A place to not just provide those simple, safe alternative products, but also introduce them to something they may not know they need to know.
Right. Wow. Okay. So I wrote down a lot of things here. Starts with you saying I was in my 50s.
Yeah.
And you just found a passion. You already had the entrepreneurial spirit, but you finally found something that made you passionate enough to want to explore it as a business owner. And I think that's powerful because I find myself at 41 and it almost makes me like get a lump in my throat because that negativity creeps in your mind and says, you're not relevant. You know, why you can't, start a business in your 40s and be a millionaire or whatever you want to be, and I'm like, well, so my age is creeping into my thoughts, and it's weird for me because I'm like, wait a minute, I still have like 100 years to live. What are you talking about? So I love that you said that you were in your 50s. And then also with you zeroing in specifically with Lyme disease, dis-ease, as you would say it, it goes along with what I teach all the time is that niches make riches, but you really need to not be afraid of niching down.
Yeah.
Because there's enough people in that smaller pool. It's easier to tell people what it is that you do when you narrow down what it is that you do. And it's just, there's so many great things about niching down and you being an expert in that specific field and being sought out for that. There's enough people with that to make your whole practice about that. So it's really awesome that you didn't take that for an answer that you are going to have this chronic disease. You didn't take it for the answer that no, you can't take QRA because you didn't do this, this, and this. You're like, nope. So time and time again, the world was telling you no, and you were saying, yes, no, I can do this, and you're going to let me, and the squeaky wheel is going to get the oil. You started in your home, and I say this all the time, start with what you have because what you have is plenty. Matt and I raised the vibrations, I guess you would say, by listening to this like little motivational thing about being phenomenal. And it's like, you can be phenomenal and you can. And it kind of pours at you and it fires you up. One of the things they always say is start with what you have is because what you have is plenty. You don't have to be perfect to get what you want. You don't have to be perfect to have what you want. You don't have to be perfect to be what you want. And you were trying from day one to help others with whatever education you had, whatever information you had, and you had the guts to sublet. And then the last thing is do it scared and start before you're ready. And that's exactly what you did. You said yes. And in November of 2018, that was just after I had said yes to the bungalow, which was equally as scary. What? No, I'm not ready for that. But it had been 7 years and I really probably was. So I just love that we started at the same time and we were both like eking it out together and figuring it out. And now here we are. We're still
That's awesome. Yeah, it was very scary moving into this space. The numbers were there. I knew I had it covered, even without subleasers. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't.
Right.
But I was still petrified. I still get a little tight in my chest just recalling it.
Yeah.
My daughter Emily, who was already working for me full time then as my receptionist at the time, and she's done all my online presence. She's been my marketing manager from day one, online, all of that goodness. So she has been my cheerleader from day one, always saying, Mom, you've got this. We did a live event 2 years prior to moving out of the house, or a year prior, and it was big. I mean, it was like a venue and the tickets and other speakers and personalities coming out and goodie bags and all the things and vendors and all these things. And it was a big deal. And I always wanted to do that. And it was really cool. And I never would have done it without her. She was like, we've got this, we can do this. And she was the same way about this space. She said, you know, this is what you're called to do. You know, this is where we're headed. Why are you holding back? And so I think it's important to have cheerleaders too, people who believe in you more than you do. And I truly don't think I'd be where I'm at without her. I tell her that all the time. It's amazing to think that I'm sitting here working full time with both my daughters, because if you had told me 10 years ago that would be happening, I would have said, oh no, that's not happening. Because, you know, they're your daughters. I don't know if you have daughters, but once you have teenage daughters, it's a hit on the self-esteem.
I have a daughter, and I keep saying, my daughter is so sweet. She's not going to be like that. She's the sweetest sweet ever. And but my mom goes, just wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
I hope and pray that you are right, but more than likely you will have your season. So, you know, and they both had Lyme disease too. And I'm telling you right now, Lyme rage is real. When you have Lyme in your brain, you are not your own. And I had it, and Emily had it. Molly didn't have it quite as bad in her brain, but Lyme can cross the blood-brain barrier and make you crazy. Ooh. And I don't remember a lot of things prior to Lyme because it took a lot of my memory with it too. And that doesn't recover quickly or sometimes ever. So, but it was rough in our household when we were all dealing with Lyme, and God bless my husband. He built a man cave in the garage and just basically lived out there for about 5 years.
I don't need any help in the crazy department. I'm Cajun. So at least, you know, my blood is. So anyways, yeah. Well, you're just fascinating. And I'm not kidding when I say I want to rush over there. So when this posts, I'm sure everybody is going to be the same and is going to be completely intrigued. So why don't you tell us really quick your hours of operation? Today's Thursday. What do you have, you know, for the rest of the week? Tell me your hours of operation and how we can get a hold of you.
We are open here at the center Tuesday through Friday and half day Saturdays. So 10 to 5 Tuesday through Friday. Saturdays it's 10 to 2 right now. Uh-huh. And I am in practice those same hours. So I'm available for appointments those same hours that the store is open. We're toying with opening Mondays too, but I probably will only practice the 4.5 days for now. I book about a week to 2 weeks in advance, depending on how flexible your time of day is. My Saturdays tend to book first. We have a website, thewellnut.com. Mm-hmm. We also have a YouTube channel, The Wellnut, and we also are on Instagram. The Wellnut Wellness and Nutrition Center, I think, is the full name on Instagram, or the Wellnut Wellness Center. And then I am The Wellnut on Instagram personally. We also have a podcast under The Wellnut, so you can look for that as well. We don't post regularly, but we have a lot of great information out there. We did the YouTube channel and the podcast so that we could refer people to that for education about some of the modalities we recommend, the products that we love, all of those things. We have a 2-part, I think it's just the podcast where we all three just talk about our journey with Lyme. And if people want to learn more about Lyme disease, what it's like if they're dealing with it themselves and just want to know they're not alone, that's one of our most popular podcasts. We have one on CBD and the makings and the works of CBD that's also very popular. So you just look at those and see if there's some source there for people to learn more too. But I'm happy to meet you anytime. Let's schedule a time where you can come and get a little introduction to QRA. I'd love to do that.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, I might just run over there and meet you and set up an appointment at some point. So
Perfect.
I appreciate that. And I really appreciate you being here. I know that you are a treasure to our community, and we are glad that you're here, Kerri. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend, and I will run over there in a little bit and see you.